Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome to from Anna Kapusta and me. I suggest we wait another 30 seconds because I can see that still some people are connecting. I'm so happy to see that so many people connected already. Because today's session we have really fascinating subject, which is IP box regime in Poland. So I suggest we wait 30 seconds until we are all ready. By the way, I can tell you that this webinar will be available also on YouTube. So if any of you will not be able to see the whole thing now, you can easily find our film on YouTube, on our YouTube profile, on our on our LinkedIn profile. And so you can, because it will 45 minutes. It's maybe not everybody has time. I'm just looking at our technicians, whether everything is in order, but so we need another 10 seconds and we can officially start from Warsaw, direct broadcast. Okay, yes, I think we are ready now, so let's start. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to this webinar from Anna Kapusta and me. Today's session will be on IP box regime. The title, as you can see, is how to set up a company in Poland and benefit from the IP box regime. Today we will shed light on IP box regime, which is a special opportunity for innovators and creators in Poland. We will explain how IP box work, how you should apply for IP box, and generally what to do and what not to do, and everything you need to know in order to reduce your tax rate in Poland for innovative profits. I will many times use the word innovative profit because IP box in general applies only to innovative works, something which has been created as a new design or new work or new project. Uh, I'll give you some practical before we start talking about the subject. I can give you I will give you some practical information. We are going to go on for approximately 45 minutes. And we will have Q&A session at the end. So it is possible to send us questions during the webinar by clicking the question button. So feel free to ask whatever comes to your mind. So we'll try. We reserve some time at the end of the webinar to answer your questions. No other participants will see your questions, so you don't have to be concerned that someone else will see your question. Please, if you have something which you want to clarify, if you want, you can send us question. You can also send us question. You can see you see our details here. Grzegorz Woźniak is myself, Anna Kapusta, my colleague. You can send our questions by email or LinkedIn profile. Um, Brief introduction about our company. We are representing Wozniak Legal, which is a commercial law firm established in Warsaw in 2007. I was one of the founders of the company. Before I worked for Allen and Overy for many years. Then I decided to open my own company, Wozniak Legal. I'm a commercial lawyer. I specialize in M&A, but also in private client matters, and recently also about in IP box matters. My colleague Anna Kapusta is a Polish advocate. She also focuses on commercial matters, corporate and commercial matters. Anna have been involved in many corporate transactions, is establishing companies, restructuring companies. Some basic facts about our law firm. We have about 20 lawyers. So by Polish standards, we are the medium-sized law firm. Our office is in Warsaw. We cooperate closely with lawyers throughout the country. So if we have litigations, court cases, country, we have lawyers who work with us. So depending on the situation, we could grow bigger and employ more people if the need arises. Now, agenda for today. I mentioned that in general terms, the IP box regime is a fascinating subject. It's by the way, I may explain how it what does it stand for. IP box is abbreviation. It stands for intellectual property box. Is a special tax regime which allows to reduce tax rate for innovative profits. We will explain. This is hugely popular recently in Poland. Has been introduced to Poland in 2019, just before COVID, to promote innovative businesses, to promote development, creation of new products. It very often applies to IT and technology sector, but can also be applied in other. It's in pharmaceuticals, in medicine, in biotechnology, engineering, anything. So agenda for today, we structure this webinar, and I know this is not it's impossible for us to cover the whole spectrum, but what we try to do, and that's why your questions will be very valuable to us, so we will know the feedback and what you would like to know more. So when you look at the agenda, it's like two big parts of this. One is how to establish the company with the view to apply for this tax relief, tax exemption, tax relief, or taxing scheme. How to establish a company, and then really what the IP box is, like a second part of this topic. So first is like how to establish the company, and then how to really what IP box is, and how to benefit from having from applying for IP box regime. And you can see the third, the last bullet point is benchmarking analysis, which sometimes is part of the whole project. Does not have to be, but I will come back to this later. But we have these two parts, like a company, and Anna will present the whole process of establishing the company from A to Z, and then I will try to shed light on IP box regime itself.
Okay, so now I will tell you what exactly is IP box and how your company can benefit from it. So as Grzegorz mentioned, the IP box in Poland is a special tax relief designed especially for entrepreneurs who commercialize IP rights created through their own research and development activities. So IP box allows companies to pay preferential tax rate of 5% on qualified income from these IP rights rather than the standard income tax rates, which can be 12%, 19%, or 32%. And how can your company can benefit from it? If your company, for example, develops patents, software copyrights, utility models, or other qualifying IP rights, the income generated from this can be benefit from this lower tax rate. This can result in significant tax savings and, of course, improve your company financial strength and allows the companies increase investments in innovation and also growth strategies. What qualifies for the IP box? As for the benefit from the IP box, your company must do real research and development that creates, develops, or improves certain intellectual property rights. This is very important. So you need to keep clear records of the income and costs related to this IP rights. This will help you apply the special 5% tax rate. Why this is important? The IP box encourages innovation by rewarding companies that create their own intellectual property. Generally, it helps business to keep more money they earn from their innovation and new ideas. So the whole point is to support and boost the economy, and also fits with Poland's plan to promote research and development. And another question is, what is the recommended plan of action? So the first step to benefit from the IP box in Poland is, of course, to set up a company in Poland. And this process involves several key stages that ensure your business is proper.
Unless you have already a company,
Unless
because
you-
there are
yes,
solutions
yes,
we
of course.
we thought that maybe would be more interesting if you come up with an idea to have a business, but of course,
Yes.
if you have already
you
existing
have
company, you
already-
may still apply.
Yes, 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 of course. So first step is to have a company in Poland. And that ensure your business is properly registered and compliant with Polish law. So first of all, you need to choose a legal form. If you want to set up a company in Poland, you have to choose a legal form. You have to decide on what type of company that best suits your business. The most common for foreign investors is, of course, limited liability company, so in Polish spółka z ograniczoną odpowiedzialnością, which limits the shareholders' liability, and which is very important. It requires only minimum share capital of 5,000 zlotys, so it's very common choice. There are, of course, other options like joint stock companies or sole proprietorships, but in our opinion, the most suitable choice for Atibox is to set up limited liability company, and that is why I will shortly tell you what you will need for opening limited liability company in Poland. So after choosing a legal form, you'll have to prepare necessary documents and determine all details regarding the company. So generally, you will have to choose the company name. You will have to choose a registered business address in Poland. You will have to determine the company structure, ownership, all internal rules. Of course, you will have to decide who will be a shareholder. You will have to decide who will be the member of the management board, what will be their delivery address, etc. And after this, you will have to sign the articles of association, and of course, this is the main step. This step forms the legal foundation of your company, and this can be done in person at notary office or digitally via online portal using electronic signatures, which is called S24.
This is interesting because people very often ask us whether it's possible to
Yes.
establish a company within 2 days. Yes, if you use this the digital platform, yes, it is possible. The only disadvantage is that have to be in Polish form. Yes, that the forms are only in Polish, so you have to have someone who speaks Polish, or you have to speak Polish.
Yes, and sometimes that's why sometimes it's easier to go to notary office.
Yes.
So after you're after signing the articles of association, you'll have to register the company. So you have to submit the registration application to the notarial court register, the National Court Register, Krajowy Rejestr Sądowy in Polish, either through the faster online system, usually complete. As Grzegorz mentioned, it's completed with 2-5 business days, or or through traditional notarial filings. So the registration grants your company its official legal identity, including the tax and statistical number. So this is very important, of course, to register company. And another step is opening bank account, which is not very easy.
Used to be easy, but
Used
now
to
it's
be easy,
now
but
it's not.
now it's not, because opening a corporate bank account in Poland, which is necessary for transactions, you have to have a bank account for paying taxes, paying share capital, paying salaries, and generally everyday expenses. So this is a very important step. Mm, as I mentioned, this can be very challenging this time. This step can be time consuming, especially for foreigners, because of the uh, complicated banking procedures and complicated requirements. For example, most banks require personal visit to branch and also some extensive documentation, including proof of identity, company structure documents, etc. So as for the banks, different banks have different requirements. The process may involve multiple steps or requests for additional documents. Some banks are more foreigner friendly than others. So with, for example, with service offered in English or some streamlined onboarding procedures. So this is important to planning ahead and contacting selected banks in advance to clarify their requirements, because it can help minimize some delays.
One thing I would add on this issue, that actually when we set up, because this it comes from my practice, everything can be arranged if you are a company from America or from wherever in the world. So everything can be done remotely. So we can have powers of attorney to go to the notary, to sign the articles, to apply for the registration. Everything actually can be done remotely, except for the opening bank account. For the bank account, there has to be usually physical presence of the at least one of the directors. So you when you do plan the whole operation, it has to be that someone will come to Warsaw for at least one day for the meeting with the bank manager to open to put all the signatures and to and to open bank or to start the process of opening bank account. This is important.
For example, to have a Polish hair.
Oh yes, it's one of the incentives to have someone local here who will be on the board, because very often and of course this is another subject, whether this person should be on the board or not. This is important, that not everything can be done online or remotely.
Exactly. So another important step is to hire good and experienced accountants. So this is crucial, essential, because to have skilled accountants who understand Polish tax and accounting regulations, accurate accounting helps ensure compliance and makes it easier to claim tax benefits, like, for example, the IP box.
This sounds like a cliche, maybe, because you always
Yeah.
have to have a good and experienced accountant, whatever you do. But in the case of IP Box, this is especially important, because nothing in life is simple. But the IP Box is attractive, but it's really complicated. There are so many risks, so many question marks that you should have, and not every accountant does it. So you need, for this purpose, you need to find a firm of accountants who really have a specific experience in this type of activity.
So here on our presentation, we have The question why experienced accountants matter for IP Box in Poland. So, as Grzegorz mentioned, they keep clear and accurate records that show clearly which income comes from your qualified intellectual property. This is very important because tax authorities always check if the income really belongs to your IP. Accountants also help you follow complex Polish law, tax law, and of course, and rules, which are very often difficult and change very often. So this helps you definitely avoid costly mistakes or penalties. Good accountant will make sure that your research and development activities and also expenses related to the IP are properly documented. Good documentation should include technical reports, development records, test results, and information in your business. Accountants also help you to prove the connection between your research and development work and also the income generated by your intellectual property. This is very important to convince tax authorities that your income qualifies for the lower IP box rate. Good accountant, if needed, will prepare the documents for special tax rulings to clarify how the IP box applies to your company and make sure this is full tax compliance. Having experienced accountants mean your company can confidently use the IP box relief with the proper documentation and all legal requirements met, reducing tax risk of audits or disputes. That's why careful planning is a very important step, the second step. So first is to have a company, and second step, careful planning with accountants, with lawyers, with tax advisors. So taking full advantage of the IP box regime in Poland requires carefully preparation and planning. And this is not a simple tax form change. We have to tell it because it involves several complex steps that mount the collaboration of, as I already mentioned, company managers, tax advisors, and especially experienced accountants. So professional accountants with specific expertise in the IP box regime play a critical role in ensuring the relief is applied correctly. They are generally they are responsible for maintaining the required accounting records, which must clearly track and link income to qualifying intellectual property rights. This includes detailed records of research and development activities, the associated expenses, and also the resulting income. So navigating the IP box process also involves understanding and managing the application and ongoing reporting requirements, which can be complex and technical. So accountants help to prepare necessary financial documentation and ensure compliance with all relevant regulation. Uh, Generally, without expert accounting, companies' risk non-compliance may miss out on tax benefits or could face some penalties. Because the process is very complex, legal and accounting advisory support is strongly recommended. So,
Yes, one thing to add on this point maybe is that because we say here that we apply or you apply as your company applies for IP box regime or final application for IP. It's not actually applying for the decision and then the tax office gives you decision. It's in Poland, like in most OECD countries, you simply calculate your own tax. Your company calculates taxes and decides whether to use the standard rate is 19%. So under normal circumstances, companies, when they have profits, they have revenues, expenses, and then the difference is profit, and the profit is taxed with the tax rate which is 19%. But if you think that you can that you have innovative profits, so profits which have been earned from innovations, from developed software, or from utility models, or from any kind of design which can qualify as a copyright or intellectual right, then you can, without any permission from the government, or without applying for the consent or approval, you can simply, or your accountants can calculate the the taxes using this preferential rate. So instead of 19%, 5%. That's what we, because it may not be clear here, but when we say application of IP Box, means that you can, everybody is free to use whatever rate they want. So it's like self calculation of these taxes, and then, but of course, when the tax office sees that you use the preferential rate, they can always come and verify your calculations and ask questions. Okay, why? What was the reason for using the preferential tax rate? And then the taxpayer have to present the evidence and have to have really good people behind him to say, yes, we use preferential tax rate because the profits which were earned from this particular source of income could be treated as a innovative profit. And that, hiring good accountants is very good, but it will not it is not that it can be given to accountants and they will decide everything. The accountants will still ask you, okay, so how much of this work, of this project, or this product is actually innovative?
Innovative, yeah.
What is percentage? So they will be very careful. And we work with many companies, but they always want a clear statement from the company. Okay, well, it's 50%, 20%. What is it? Yes, because they rely. So there has to be, as Anna mentioned, there has to be really applying. So using the IP Box regime. So many companies are afraid of using this because it means tax control and verification, everything. But using the IP Box regime in Poland demands close collaboration between, as Anna mentioned, managers, tax advisors, accountants, lawyers, and especially professional accountants who have direct experience with this specific tax incentive, as errors or omissions can result in lost benefits or penalties for non-compliance. So if someone foolishly apply, oh, I have an innovative product, and they can say, and you can easily say, because then nobody will stop you. I can say that 100% of my income comes from innovative product. Immediately you will have a tax control, and they'll say, no, if there's no evidence, written evidence explaining exactly why do you think, because there has to be all this research and development expenditure have to be connected with this innovative product, innovative service, innovative work which has been created. So as I mentioned at the beginning, this is a special opportunity for innovators and creators. So you have to be able to prove to the tax office that this is really, that you are innovator or creator and you created something new.
Okay. Let me tell you more about the risk
Good
areas.
introduction to risk areas. We
good
still want to
introduction.
convince you that this is a very good and very good program, but there are these risk areas. You have to be careful about risk areas.
Yes, exactly. Because companies that try to, handle the IP Box tax relief on their own without all of professional accounting, legal help, they could face many risks. The process of qualifying activities, tracking research and development expenses, and also separating the IP income from other income is very complicated and demanding, as also Grzegorz mentioned. So without any expert guidance, companies may make incorrect tax application, which can result in rejection of the tax relief or complications without tax authorities. Company could miss out on valuable tax benefits because, for example, they don't properly identify other document qualifying IP income or related costs. Company could face penalties and fines if audits find non-compliant, inaccurate reports, or missing evidence. So tax authorities carefully examine whether companies have correctly identified and documented qualifying intellectual property, properly reported research and development work, and linked it to their IP income. Tax authorities also check whether companies have kept detailed, clear, and auditable records. So, because of all these requirements are complex and strict, companies without professional support risk dispute with tax authorities and may have to pay back taxes with interest and fines. So, working with experienced accountants and legal advisors is crucial, essential to, of course, avoid any risks and fully benefit from the IP box tax relief.
Now, additional aspect of the whole thing is the benchmarking analysis. Benchmarking analysis is not something which is closely or directly related or go together always hand in hand with IP box regime, because IP box it can be applied by everybody. So it could be small Polish companies or even contractors, B2B contractors who just especially in software, in IT industry, that could be applied for small companies, for individuals, but also for multinationals. Benchmarking in our practice, we come across very often through the benchmarking analysis issue, because benchmarking is important if, and there are many cases like this, if a foreign company, very often American company, decides to open an office in Poland, and we have this is being called related transactions. So there is a close cooperation between the parent company and the daughter company, and then there is the issue of transfer pricing and transfer pricing documentation. The rules on pricing between related companies is that has to be at the market at the market level, which is being called arm's length principle. So it cannot be too low or too high. It has to be market level. And for this, and the best tool for establishing what is the market level is this benchmarking analysis, which basically is a study which also being handled by specialized tax companies or tax advisors who can compare the prices used by this group, which is being analyzed, with other possibilities to order this type of service. And then we have a solid study which shows what should be the level of prices for this particular service. Benchmarking, we decided to talk briefly about it because benchmarking is so because benchmarking, if you have a related parties transaction, benchmarking is not optional. This is a must. If a company derives profit from internal party transactions, they have to once a year they have to do transfer pricing reporting. They have to file a form and inform tax office what is the what is the profit, what is the margin used in internal transactions. Benchmarking is not always mandatory. If you don't have a related party transactions, this is not does not apply to you. But if you have a related party transaction, it has to be done. So actually, we put it when we look when Anna presented the first step and the list of issues which should be taken care of at the beginning. We put the last bullet point, benchmarking. Benchmarking. If we know that there is a related party transactions and there will be and there is a need to prove market conditions for the transactions. Benchmarking analysis actually should be one of the first steps, even before opening the company. Maybe not before, but together with planning to open company, it has to be a proper analysis because it takes time. It's a solid study which which takes about several weeks, yes, to prepare a full study, which is comparison of all prices in the specific sector. And these are examples. We decided to put examples from the news, from the internet, Google, Intel, PayPal, but these are just the biggest one. Poland is still one of the most popular business locations in Poland, in Europe. Poland is still one of the most popular business locations in Europe, and nobody knows exactly what are the decisive factors, but normally three factors are being given: central location, attractive labor market, and facilities for foreign investors. So what is the subject of this webinar today? These facilities for foreign investors, including IP Box, but they can apply also for, or they can use other facilities for foreign investors. So even without these facilities, Polish economy is attractive and is actually functioning much better than other economies in this region because of other factors like attractive labor market, a very large number of very skilled IT specialists. Poland is famous for programmers, for IT specialists, for mathematicians. So, but these these facilities for foreign investors, so all types of tax incentives, tax reliefs, give additional strength or additional appeal for investing in Poland. And how to benefit. So, of course, as we said, we are not able to discuss it in detail because it's really, the truth is that nothing in life is ever so simple. But in this case, this is really complicated subject, but is really valuable. So if you have, would be very foolish if you have a business which is innovative, and so as a matter of fact, you are innovator. Poland is one of the ideal places on the planet to really to locate your business here because you can take advantage of this tax relief. So how can you benefit from the box regime? There are four main points to make it effective and successful. If you have a really if you are innovator. So introduce a mechanism to assess the degree of product innovativeness. This is very important. This is something which I mentioned earlier. The accountants, the lawyers, the tax advisors will not help you. You have to measure. You have to have a system of assessing how much your business or your product is innovative. It's difficult. There has to be, depending on the sector, there can be various measurements. Second is you have to keep detailed and separate accounting records for each IP rights. It has to be, when they come with the tax control, they will try to find loopholes in your system. So we have to keep everything in order, and have to be proper connection between inventions or any rights who have been developed and costs. Prepare robust internal documentation on R&D activity and the process of generating. This is This is absolutely key. It has to be, because very often the invention comes from your mind, from your people. That does not have to put everything on paper, or find evidence. You have to not only invent new things, and have AI. Let's say that you have a brilliant AI. You have an expert on AI, and he is able to think it over, and to create excellent things. There has to be something which links this to the process of inventing the new product or the new work. And the fourth point: keep all evidence of commercialization. So how the profit was generated, because it will be either through license or through sale. It has to be invoices. There has to be proper documentation how the profit was generated, because of course tax offices will be looking at companies who are trying to cheat on this, and they say, oh, our product is innovative, and they want to rely on 5% income tax. I'm looking at my watch that we are running out of time. So conclusions, I will not repeat maybe, because you've heard this. This is for conclusion is that you have to plan in advance everything. It's a hugely complicated project, or relief, or incentive, but it has to be properly designed, properly implemented. It applies. Companies of all sizes and legal forms can benefit from the White-Box regime in Poland, as long as they comply with strict documentation requirements, and develop innovative products. So the bottom line: if your product is not innovative, I think it's too risky for you to try to look for other tax incentives, not necessarily for innovators. And by combining incorporation of the Polish company with this IP box, you can really you leverage one of the EU most attractive tax regime. Not many countries in Europe. I think Netherlands has it, Belgium, maybe Cyprus, Switzerland, which is not EU, but there are 3-4 countries in Europe who have this at this level, like 5%. This is one of the best tax rate, 5%. Yes. So conclusions are easy. So this is for innovators and creators, not for anybody else. And we want to be ready for Q&A session. So we prepared a case study, actually one case study, which, because as we mentioned, the most popular setup is that for US company who basically decides that it is good to take advantage of this excellent Polish IT developers, or Polish specialists. Instead of bringing them to America, they can employ them in Poland, and actually have the product which have the same or higher quality than American product. Even in OpenAI, some of the senior key people around the president of the board, some Altman, are Polish IT developers. So the typical structure is that there is like in this case study, there is a ABC Incorporation, in a Chicago firm who produces software for law firms and accounting firms, and when they really do innovative products, and they can decide to set up, as Anya explained, the whole for the process of setting up the company in Poland. And then if the developers, if people who are employed in Poland really develop and create products which can be basically codes, yes, if they are programmers and they create codes which can be identified and presented as a code, it could be codes for the games, or for the new software, or really upgrade of the software, or whatever, but it has to be something new which comes from people's mind. Then they can apply this 5% tax rate. So you can see, we try to give you an example that It's normally it's difficult to have 100% coming from innovative products or innovative services, because even if you have the most brilliant IT specialist who work from 8 to 5, and they only do programming, there have to be some mm, management, there have to be preparations, there have to be some so in practice, you have to, as a manager, as a taxpayer, you have to decide whether it's 80%, what is the split, 80-20, or 50-50, or 30-70, but they have to split between what is what is your innovative work, and what is the time spent by your people for creating innovative products. Normally, if you put 100%, they will be very suspicious, and you will have problems as a taxpayer. But you will see from this calculation. So the typical, this is quite optimistic. This is quite, I would say, quite aggressive. Yes, 80-20. So the ABC would have to show to the Polish office that really 80% of what people spend in the office is being spent on developing, on creating new things, and 20% for management, for administrative work. But then you can see how it's very difficult to achieve really 5% income tax. As we mentioned, 19% is the standard rate. So now, if we have an innovative product, we can reduce it, and then the more services come from innovative products, the more reduction you can achieve. In this example, this is 80% is being taxed at 5%, and 20% is being taxed by 19%. Altogether, we have a tax rate at 7.8, which is very good. This is one of the best in Europe. I don't want to say that this is ideal, the whole scheme, because there are many problems. There are issues how to employ, on what basis people should be employed, what are the other aspects. But to sum up, just one more sentence: if you have an innovative product and something new is being created, it would be really very good to place your business in Poland, because then you can achieve taxation at the corporate level at the level of 7, 8, 9, maybe 10%, depending on the situation. That's, I think, the last slide. Now we are almost on time. We have 5 minutes for questions. We have, yes, hello, welcome once again to Wozniak Legal.
Okay, here we have the question.
Here we have the questions. Yes, we have many questions, so we will have to choose. There's one interesting question which is from completely different sector. The question is, if a production company develops a new model of the brick, can they? So it's not. I mentioned that most popular is IT sector, technological sector, but it applies also to any other industry. So the question is, can they also apply IT box regime, and that they can also reduce the tax rate? Yes, the answer is absolutely yes. It is also possible. For instance, if there is a new appearance of the brick, because it's brick seems to be very old product which has been for centuries, but if there is a new appearance, and this new appearance will be registered, because there's in some of the IP rights there has to be formal process of registration. So if there is a new appearance of the brick, and this new appearance is registered as an industrial design, the Polish law lists what are the, Anya mentioned this, what are the qualified IP rights, and one of them is industrial design, which is industrial design basically is a new appearance of the product. So it is not patent, it is not something completely new, not invention, but new, interesting way of presenting the product. So if it's really new appearance and this is resistant, you have to apply to either Polish patent office, or it has to be registered. It could be registered in the at the Polish level or EU level. There are many possibilities, and the patent office decides that it is a new design. Yes, you can. The production companies. I'm answering the production company. So brick producing company, yes, you can apply for IP box regime. Of course, the same problems for which everybody faces will appear. You have to uh, have the system or the mechanism. What are the costs connected with design, with working with new design, this new appearance? So how many people work on this, and what are the evidence? But but yes, if you have the new models, so it's not only that it has to be really high tech companies, industries, or only Cosmos and AI and digital. No, it could be products as old as bricks or anything else, provided that it has this degree of innovativeness. What else do we have? So
Now maybe you have a lot of questions, but we're running out of time. Okay, so maybe I will answer this question. Is the IP box tax relief applicable only to the IT and software industry, or does it also apply to other industries? We talked about it earlier. The IP box tax relief um, can be used in also other business sectors like technology, engineering, life science, also manufacturing, and
brick production.
brick production, exactly. So as long as they met the qualifying criteria, they can also benefit from the IP box. So the answer is yes.
Yeah,
Can apply to other industries.
Next question we have: Does benchmarking analysis and IP box regime always go together? No, no. This may be confusing, but benchmarking analysis is only for related party transactions. So normally for multinationals. So multinationals, when they transfer the business or production, when they create IT hub in Poland to create new things. Yes, then of course always. So in many cases from our practice we have the benchmarking analysis. But if IP box regime is being applied by independent company in Poland, there are no aspect that there's no need to do any benchmarking analysis.
Okay, maybe one more question for me from John Milan. Can small companies or startups benefit from the IP box, or is it only for large corporations? So the IP box tax relief is available for all entrepreneurs, regardless of size. So both small startups and also large corporations can benefit as long as they develop qualifying IP rights through their own research and the development activities. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, maybe we have time for one more question. So we have a question. Yes, can computer games like The Witcher be qualified for IP box regime? Yeah, The Witcher is is a famous Polish product, and it has been developed by CD Projekt. So the question is yes, of course, yes. It's provided again that the game and The Witcher, or each edition of Witcher, I think has just that they are going. It is being made more complicated. So like a company like Witcher, which develops and owns the codes for a game, which has this innovative features, can benefit from IP box regime for profits earned on the promotion on the game, provided that that all statutory requires are met, and so as you can see, whether we talk about brick production or creating a computer game like The Witcher, it's still no one will tell you like let's talk for a moment about The Witcher or code. There is a code for The Witcher, but to what extent this code is innovative in 100%? This is very often not for the lawyers, not for the accountants, not even for the tax controller to say. You have to, as a taxpayer, managers, taxpayers, and actually the IT developers, they have to say, they have to try to find arguments. Okay, the Witcher version 3 has been, because it's based on the previous version, but it has, let's say, 30% of innovativeness. So this degree, we mentioned one of the slides, you have to have the mechanism which can assess the degree of innovativeness. So whether we talk about computer games, whether we go out of physical software for IT companies, or the brick production, is still a question: how much, or what is the degree, or what is the percentage of innovativeness in your product? And this is up to managers and actually inventors, or people who have been behind inventing it, to say no, this is like 85% new product. I don't know whether to answer the question, but about The Witcher, I congratulate for The Witcher. Witcher is a famous Polish product, and CD Projekt is famous for producing games. I think we run out of time. Thank you. We have many questions. We'll try to answer these questions later on directly to our viewers. If you have any other questions after this seminar, please, as I said, please contact either Anna Kapusta or me directly on mobile or through email, and we'll try to answer. And definitely, we'll try to answer every single question, but it's very valuable for us because we'll know how we should, in a series of sessions, how we should structure it, and how we should develop it further. Yes. So for the time, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And see you another time. Thank you.